Ahead on News 11, people in Fredonia are getting excited for the chance to appear on a Hulu original. As the list for possible locations narrows down, people are showing their support on social media.
And one accuracy of climate simulations from the past 40 years.
Major changes for the Buffalo Diocese after more than a year of scandal, investigation, and pressure from within the Catholic Church. Buffalo's Bishop Richard Malone resigns. Starts now.
Good evening and welcome to News 11. I'm Patrick Ryan.
And I'm Jovanina Vancheri. Topping local news, Bishop Richard Malone of the Buffalo Catholic Diocese has resigned. For over a year, many Catholics in Buffalo urged Malone to step down over his mishandling of sexual abuse cases involving clergy. The Vatican announced Pope Francis officially accepted Malone's resignation. Both the New York State Office of the Attorney General and the Federal Bureau of Investigation are currently investigating the alleged cover-ups. Over 220 lawsuits have been filed against the diocese on the grounds of clergy abuse.
And in Irving, New York, the TLC Lakeshore facility is closing. The decision, public Tuesday morning in a news release, Christopher Lansky, chair of the system's board of directors, says despite efforts to reduce expenses and maintain hospital services, the losses being incurred at the TLC campus continue to rise. Simply put, patient volume is too low to maintain services and cover the cost of operating the campus, end quote. The closure goes into effect January 1st.
In Syracuse, authorities say police shot and killed an armed man after the man shot his 6-year-old nephew. Tuesday, December 3rd, police were called to the home and say they found a man with a weapon. The Onondaga County District Attorney says the man was Miguel Russo, the child's uncle and convicted gang member. An officer killed Russo, then found the child wounded inside the home. Neighbors say the violence in the neighborhood is frightening.
He's only 6 years old. And I always tell my girls, that's why I always tell my girls I don't want them outside. Stay inside always because you never know, because bullets never have names.
I want to get out of this neighborhood. It's at the point where I bought a house via the internet through home headquarters, and I got out the military, arrived back in Syracuse, and this is worse than some of the places I've been overseas.
The boy was hospitalized, and as of Wednesday night, he was in stable condition.
Also in Syracuse, snow seems to be causing some difficulties. It was a close call when a gas station owner narrowly escaped being crushed by a collapsed canopy at the station. It appears the weight of the snow and ice caused the station's canopy to collapse Wednesday. The owner says he had parked under it and went inside for a second to get some paperwork. That's when it came crashing down. No one was hurt, but it did damage a car and a truck.
Patrick, thank you. You may have seen the hashtag MyFredonia on social media lately. The reason? There's a chance to showcase the village of Fredonia on a Hulu show, Small Business Revolution. The reality series showcases a small American town to help small businesses grow and thrive. Fredonia is currently on the producer's top 10 list, which will be narrowed down to a top 5 in mid-January. In mid-December, the members of the Small Business Revolution team will be making a visit to Fredonia to see what it's all about. In the meantime, you can show your love and support for the village of Fredonia by using the hashtag MyFredonia.
Thank you. And after the break, a shooting at Pearl Harbor, and students are wondering where their next meal will come from. And New York City gets ready for the holidays once again. That's all ahead, coming up next.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul.
You've messed up your son's haircut. Do you try to fix it? Work with what you've got? or show solidarity.
Thank you, babe.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans, because love has no labels.
Había un niño que era muy sensible a luces y sonidos. Construía escondites donde no podían entrar. No le gustaba mirar a la gente a los ojos. Lo hacía sentir incómodo. Un día se descubrió que tenía autismo. Con ayuda, poco a poco, aprendió a vivir mejor con ello.
Mientras más pronto se diagnostique, mejor. Conoce las señales en autismspeaks.org.
Your son wants to get a cat, but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals
25.
Good job.
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
We can warn someone when their drink isn't safe.
And disrupt the situation.
We can.
Get someone a cab.
Or walk them home safely.
We can make campuses safer for our friends.
Our roommates.
Our classmates. Our fellow human beings.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can. Intervene.
It's on us.
All of us.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
3 people are dead after an active duty United States sailor shot 3 male civilians and then himself at the Pearl Harbor Naval Base shipyard. One of the civilians is hospitalized and in stable condition. Officials don't know the motive or the relationship between the shooter and the victims, whether they were targeted or if it was a random shooting, or what kind of weapon was used. Personal weapons aren't allowed on the base. The names of the shooter and the victims have not yet been released.
Every day, there are thousands of college students who go hungry simply because they cannot afford the price of a meal plan. Food insecurity even exists at top schools like Columbia and Berkeley. At the Southern Connecticut State University, they're currently in the middle of setting up a student-run food pantry. Once the pantry opens, the university will hold a food drive, where they will then be one step closer to helping their students find their next meal. Here at Fredonia, a student food pantry is available 7 days a week. For hours, visit fredonia.edu/foodpantry.
And finally, some news to get you in the holiday spirit tonight. The Christmas tree at New York's Rockefeller Center is once again lit with tens of thousands of lights. The 87th lighting ceremony was Wednesday night. This year's tree is a 60-year-old Norway spruce that hails from Orange County, New York. The 77-feet tall tree features a star on top, weighing in at 900 pounds, containing more than 3 million Swarovski crystals. The televised ceremony included TV personality Al Roker, stars of Saturday Night Live, and musicians John Legend, Gwen Stefani, and John Bon Jovi. And now Hope Winter joins us for a look at our weather. Hello, Hope.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How was your break?
Oh, it was great. It was not long enough.
Yeah, right. So how are we looking with weather out there?
Well, the weather has been pretty cold the past couple of days, and it seems we'll continue to have a roller coaster of conditions for the next couple of days. Tomorrow, after a day of snow and hail, we will maybe be experiencing some rain. Tomorrow, we'll have a high of 40 degrees and a low of 27 degrees. Then on Saturday, conditions will clear up and we'll have a high of 34 degrees with a low of 28 degrees. Sunday will be cloudy with a high of 40 degrees, perfect for that Bills game. Then that's your weekend weather, and stay tuned for the full weekly forecast later on the show.
Thank you, Hope.
Thank
I'm sure
you.
Kevin will be happy about the Bills
for
forecast.
Sure. It'll be a
right?
perfect day.
It'll be so good. Well, thank you so much. And we're going to take another break, but when we come back, we have your international news and a check-in with Kevin for sports.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul.
You've messed up your son's haircut. Do you try to fix it? Work with what you've got? Or show solidarity?
Thank you, babe. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans, because love has no labels.
Había un niño que era muy sensible a luces y sonidos. Construía escondites donde no podían entrar. No le gustaba mirar a la gente a los ojos. Lo hacía sentir incómodo. Un día se descubrió que tenía autismo. Con ayuda, poco a poco, aprendió a vivir mejor con ello.
Mientras más pronto se diagnostique, mejor. Conoce las señales en autismspeaks.org.
Your son wants to get a cat, but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals
25.
Good job.
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
We can warn someone when their drink isn't safe.
And disrupt the situation.
We can. Get someone a cab.
Or walk them home safely.
We can make campuses safer for our friends.
Our roommates.
Our classmates, our fellow human beings.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can.
Intervene.
It's on us.
All of us. Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Welcome back to News 11. Honduras remains one of the most dangerous countries to be a journalist. Last week, TV reporter Jose Arita was shot and killed after leaving work. It was reported that 4 men were waiting in a car for him when they shot him. Arita was the host of the political show, The Hour of Truth. In Honduras, at least 8 journalists have been killed this year, and 84 have been killed in total since 2001.
Australia is using a new tool to help crack down on drivers who use their phones while behind the wheel. New South Wales has announced the world's first phone detection camera system. The Australian government says these cameras will use artificial intelligence to detect when a driver is using their phone. And if caught, drivers could get points on their license and incur fines. Earlier this year, the government tested these cameras and caught over 100,000 drivers on their phones.
For years, critics of climate change have argued that models and predictions are inaccurate. One scientist decided to figure it out himself. University of California, Berkeley scientist Zeke Hausfather looked at 17 climate predictions from 1970 to 2007 and said they were, quote, indistinguishable from what actually occurred. Hausfather was even more impressed because one simulation from 1970, when climate change wasn't as noticeable as it is today, was 91% accurate in its predictions. Kevin Syracuse is here now to talk about sports. Kevin, how about those Bills?
How about those Bills? 9-3, huge game on Sunday. We'll talk about that more in a minute. First, the Fredonia State men's hockey team won the 2019 Castleton University Invitational with a double overtime win Saturday over Nazareth at Spartan Arena in Rutland, Vermont. The game went into a 5-minute 5-on-5 overtime tied at 5, and then into a 5-minute 3-on-3 overtime where Victor Tracy netted the game-winning goal. Fredonia also defeated number 15 ranked Curry 1-0 on Friday as Jasper Corcoran-Barley scored the game-winning goal in a shootout after the 2 overtimes. Both games go down as a tie, but Fredonia did win the tournament and will use that as momentum moving forward. They return home this weekend to take on Cortland tomorrow night and Oswego Saturday night, which is also the stroke awareness game. The women's basketball team lost to Nazareth Tuesday night in Rochester, 83-55. Katie Pitcher and Lauren Mickley each had 16 points, while Pitcher also added 12 rebounds. The loss drops the Devils to a record of 2-3 as they begin SUNYAC play, along with the men's team, Saturday at Buff State. And finally, back to the Bills and Sabres. This is the first time since 1999 that both the Bills and the Sabres are in a playoff spot in December. The Bills are currently 9-3 and lead the AFC wildcard by 2 games. They will be hosting Lamar Jackson and the 10-2 Baltimore Ravens Sunday at New Era Field. Meanwhile, the Sabres have 31 points with a record of 13-10-5 and are in the 3rd and final spot in the Atlantic Division. They beat New Jersey 7-1, as you can see in the highlights here on Tuesday night, and they will be out in Calgary tonight at 9, Vancouver Saturday at 4, and Edmonton Sunday at 8.
Well, thank you, Kevin. I can tell you're happy about the Bills.
Very happy.
Will you be at the game this Sunday?
Of course. We could clinch this weekend.
You think?
It'll be tough, but we can do it. We need some help. We need a few teams to lose and for us to win, but it can be done.
Well, let's
and
hope.
Playoff tickets have already gone on sale. They went on sale today and were sold out within the first few hours. So,
Glad you got
I don't even know if they'll have a home playoff game, but I didn't even have time to get them. So that's how fast they went.
Wow. Well, let's hope for another win. Thanks again, Kevin. And after this break, we'll have a round of odd news stories and one last look at the weather.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul.
You've messed up your son's haircut. Do you try to fix it? Work with what you've got? Or show solidarity?
Thank you, babe. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans, because love has no labels.
Había un niño que era muy sensible a luces y sonidos. Construía escondites donde no podían entrar. No le gustaba mirar a la gente a los ojos. Lo hacía sentir incómodo. Un día se descubrió que tenía autismo. Con ayuda, poco a poco, aprendió a vivir mejor con ello.
Mientras más pronto se diagnostique, mejor. Conoce las señales en autismspeaks.org.
Your son wants to get a cat, but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals
25.
Good job.
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
We can warn someone when their drink isn't safe.
And disrupt the situation. We can.
Get someone a cab.
Or walk them home safely.
We can make campuses safer for our friends.
Our roommates.
Our classmates, our fellow human beings.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can.
Intervene.
It's on us. All of us.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
All right, welcome back to News 11. We have a little time here. So I was talking to Hope before we came out of the break, and she just went to Ireland for this past break. And I wanted to ask Anina if you could go anywhere in Europe or even around the world, where you would want to go.
I would have to say Italy. I've got family there. And
The
I've
homeland?
always wanted to see it, yes.
Of course.
It's a bucket list for me.
Love that.
What about you?
Probably Greece. I don't know. It just looks really pretty there.
It is beautiful. Mamma Mia.
Yes.
Great movie.
Yes. Do you think Cher would be there if we went? She was in Mamma
Maybe.
Mia too.
Was she? Maybe she's taking a vacation. That'd be
Maybe
great.
she is taking a vacation. Well, we have some great odd news stories. What are we talking about first, Nina?
Well, our first odd news story comes from my hometown, Rochester, New York. And a man who was trying to intrude a home there last week was met with quite the surprise. The owner of the home was Willie Murphy, an 82-year-old woman who also happens to be a bodybuilder. The man knocked on her door asking for an ambulance, and when Murphy didn't let him in, he broke in. After calling the police, Murphy hit the intruder with a table, poured shampoo on his face, repeatedly jumped on him, and police say when they walked in, they found her beating him with a broom. The police were so impressed, they tweeted out a selfie with her after the fact and called her, quote, tough as nails.
Wow, that is quite the story. I hope the police make her an honorary member of the force. I think she deserves it. Well, meantime, Americans are bracing for a possible French fry shortage after this year's poor potato harvest. You heard that right. Cold weather has threatened major potato suppliers in North Dakota and Minnesota. They've ruined their crops. In addition to the cold, the United States has seen an increase in demand from fry processing centers. This combination will lead to tight supplies and some farmers that will have to scramble to keep up with the demand.
And finally tonight, a story perfect for this time of year when the snow is falling and Christmas lights are turning on everywhere. But the lights aren't just for houses. In a Tennessee aquarium, one electric eel is creating quite the buzz. The eel is named Miguel Watson. That's Watson with 2 T's. Miguel's tank is hooked up to a special system that takes his voltage and uses it to light up a Christmas tree nearby. Miguel has a Twitter account full of posts that say kaboom or zaboosh. He also tweeted a video that showed the lights on the tree flashing as he moved around his tank. So from all of us here at News 11, happy holidays, Miguel. Those are some great stories today.
Those were. That was some hard-hitting journalism. I'm concerned about this French fry shortage.
Oh, I know. I love French fries.
Because so do I. And will this be affecting the Williams Center?
Oh, I hope not.
I need to speak to FSA.
We'll have to do that. And I'm so proud of Willie representing Rochester.
That's what I'm saying. Willie really went off.
I hope when I'm 82, I can bench press at least half of what she does.
Interesting choice of shampoo, I do have to say, as her weapon.
Yes, I saw her in an interview talking about that. We'll have to look back at that.
I wonder what kind of shampoo she was using. Maybe she can get a brand deal.
She got it from the dollar store.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
have to check it out.
A sponsorship is on the way. All right, well, Hope Winter is at the weather wall with the latest in weather. Hope, how's it going over there?
It's great. How you guys good? Our Friday forecast calls for rain instead of snow with a high of 40 degrees. Then on Saturday, conditions will start to clear up with only a 10% of precipitation and a high of 34 degrees. Then if you're a Bills fan like Kevin, it's going to be a perfect day to go see the game as it will be a high of 40 degrees and partly cloudy with all day. Then starting the week off, Monday and Tuesday will be warmer with both days having a high of 48 degrees. And later on Tuesday, we may see some snow, so make sure you bundle up. Then on Wednesday, temperatures will drop drastically down to a high of 28 degrees and a 40% chance of snow. Then on Thursday, those cold temperatures will continue on into the weekend. So make sure to bundle up as you go to study for your finals.
All right, quite the forecast, Hope. Thank you.
It's gonna be really chilly, so
Great.
make sure you bundle up.
We will certainly bundle up. Any plans for the holidays, everyone? Kevin, Bills game?
Yes, actually, Hope and I and a group of friends are going on a bus to the game.
On a bus? Oh, your first Bills game?
I've been to a preseason game, but I've never been to a legit Bills game. So
That's exciting. That's great. What about you, Anita? Anything? Are you going to go visit
Bills
Willie?
game?
Oh yes, I'm gonna track her down.
Well, I'm not doing anything interesting, but you know, we made it through the show. We made it through the semester. I'm really proud of everyone. I broke my glasses, so I tried to read the best I could off the teleprompter.
You did great. You couldn't even tell.
I'm sure you couldn't even tell. All right. Well, happy holidays and a happy rest of your semester from the News 11 family. And thank you to everyone working behind the scenes as always. And we will catch you next semester right back here on WNYF. Good night.